Hello and welcome to The Charismatic Voice. This week we'll be examining vibrato. Let's start with the definition supplied by Oxford Dictionary. Vibrato is a rapid, slight variation in pitch, producing a stronger or richer tone. There are two main types of vibrato, hammer vibrato and laryngeal vibrato. Let's talk about hammer or machine gun vibrato first. It's the less common of the two types. Hammer vibrato occurs when a singer repeatedly attacks a note. This vibrato happens at your vocal cords and is essentially a singer pulsating on the same pitch. This is what it sounds like. Sometimes it's called a bleating vibrato because it kind of sounds like a goat. Hammer vibrato isn't used that often in Western music, but you will hear it in Indian music and folk music on occasion. It is particularly common, though, in ethnic music, like in Arab traditional singing. The other type, laryngeal vibrato, is a lot more common. Laryngeal vibrato occurs when the pitch slightly oscillates up and down. Unlike hammer vibrato, there isn't a break in the sound. It's just one continuous vibration. A lot of information out there calls this a half-step vibrato and teaches it by singing up and down one half-step, but that isn't very accurate. If the voice were just alternating between two half-steps, that would be a trill. Instead, the voice centers on one pitch and then relaxes a little and minimally oscillates up and down. Hopefully, if the vibrato is healthy, you're not going to hear an actual pitch above and below, but it will be briefly sharp and then briefly flat, and the ear should perceive one single intentional pitch. This is what it sounds like alternating between straight tone and vibrato. And here's a spectrograph of that same thing. You can see that the straight tone looks straight, and then it jiggles a little up and down with the vibrato. Now let's take a look at how laryngeal vibrato is physically produced. We know that it occurs when the larynx moves rapidly up and down. We also know that children and untrained singers are less likely to have laryngeal vibrato than seasoned veterans, especially opera singers, and here's where we get really scientific. Most voice scientists agree that this vibrato is caused by periodic relaxation between antagonistic muscles in the voice box. So basically, you have two muscle groups duking it out to control pressure on the vocal cords, and to be healthy, they sometimes need to chill out a little, which results in a tiny tremor. A few other studies have also shown vibrato originating from subglottic pressure, so the air fights to get through your voice box, and muscles around it fight to keep the voice box down, and again, tiny tremor happens. If you want to learn more, I've linked to a ton of studies below this video. Whatever muscles are actually responsible, it's widely believed that laryngeal vibrato is a natural and healthy function of the vocal cords. And here's why. It adds richness and warmth to the voice. It also creates louder harmonics or overtones, which in turn make it easier to be heard as a soloist, even over an orchestra. Vibrato can also help relieve pressure on the larynx, and it's a great tool for expression, especially in today's pop music. But be careful when you try to develop vibrato. The best way to find your natural vibrato is to focus on a healthy technique. Trust that the vibrato will come when your technique and vocal cords are stronger. If you do try to force your vibrato, you might end up singing with the shaky gospel jaw, kinda like Whitney Houston. Or you might end up forcing your diaphragm to cause a wobble so large, Mary and her little lamb could stroll right through it. Hopefully you know a little more about vibrato now. If you have any questions or want to suggest a topic for a video, please write that in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching.